Sorry about the little delay there. I had to take and change this. Well, I placed another chart here. And when we see all of these things happen today about around us, and we hear the cry of the white race, he is the only race that's speaking of terrorists. That we applaud this and applaud that, and then just the news media get it, and it explodes, and this is all you hear. It wears out you, and you get tired of hearing these things because you don't. Gosh, the pure. What is that a pure? Why are we living in a world that we fearing every man? That every time we wake up, all that we hear is, well, they almost got us. They almost hit this. We don't want to hear that crap. Lord, forgive us. We do not want to hear that. That it wearing down the ears of us. We know that we have lived in a condition for all our lives. It's something annoying to just keep going and going, and you wish it would stop. Lord have mercy, but it just go on, and it's just a bad taste in your mouth. Always hearing somebody crying about what somebody else is trying to do with them, but yet at the same time, when you look at them, they are the one that's shedding all the blood. And in the Bible prophecy, when I showed you the red white horse, the red horse and the pale horse, they are the one that God himself have showed us through Bible prophecy that have shed all the blood. So why are they crying, talking about what somebody is trying to do with them? And God is showing all of these things in Bible prophecy. These are not my words. I'm showing you these things. God showed you me as a prophet, a man having a pair of balance. I had to delete this third part of this here, and I don't know what all I got on there and had not. So you have to take your time with this equipment because if you get a little too fast, you're gonna mess up something. And what I'm trying to do, be more effective with my work, and then now we got ministers. We had popes here a long time ago, white ministers, before we even had our freedom from slavery. Nobody brought forth and spoke concerning about the black man in Bible prophecy. Everything that we saw in images in Bible prophecy, it was always the white man in the forefront of every page in the Bible because we didn't write Bibles. They wrote Bibles. But thank God, God used the Gentiles as a vessel to carry his gospel because they had they was a hasty nation. It was a divided kingdom. But what they didn't do, they taken and created an image for us, for their children to think that they was more godly peoples. They was the man with the sword that kills. They're the man with the Bible. They're the man with the law. And they was everything that the black person just was here. That God just, when he created the monkey to climb the trees, I guess, and all of this here, the leopard to run and chase down his prey, a predator in the wild, and the lion. But when he got to the black man, he just created him, didn't understand what he was doing. This is what they tried to sit up in. They never had a purpose for us. Throughout, the only thing they acted as if was created to be slaves to serve other peoples. But it was not so. Now, the first man, Abraham, was a black man. Isaac was the seed of Abraham. He was also 100% black. This is what they don't tell you. But what it was, as God was making a promise to Abraham, the sinful spirit, the demonic spirit upon which was Cain had set himself and made agreement to before the flood of Noah, when he slayed his brother Abel. He made a covenant with death and hell and told God, from you I'll hide my face. And Genesis chapter 4, I believe 14, verse 14 or 15 there. You have to check your Bible, okay? Now, angels of God bare daughters unto the children, the daughters of Cain. Cain was the only nation upon the face of the earth for many years. If you check your Bible reference, I believe in Genesis chapter 5, it will tell you as Seth was born unto Abraham, he was at 130 years old. When you calibrate that, and he had to grow into be a man, he also had to, since Adam and Eve was the only reproduction system for the world at that time, not only did he have to bear Seth, he had to bear him a wife who was a daughter, another daughter, so he could have a wife. So at the time that Abraham had given and Abraham, not Abraham, Lord, Adam and Eve gave birth to Seth, the replacement for Cain, Abel, who Cain slew. Cain was beginning to be a peoples upon the earth. There was all black peoples from the beginning because the human race was a person having a high chemical makeup of pigmentation. This was because of the environment upon which God had placed him. This what caused the coloring of his genetic color code was black because he had to have an extra thick skin, just like the rhinoceros or the elephant, who does not have hair, is placed in those regions where it's real dense heat. In order to be able to go and through these here, survive in that habitat, they had to have thick skin. So when the elephant have thick skin, you don't see white elephants over there in Africa because God had to create the skin and somewhat to withstand the dense heat rays of the sun, the daily heat rays of the sun. So that's why God had to create that man with a high pigment count, that his inner organ will not become damaged, because he had become keepers of the entire earth, not just one region. He had to be in keepers of the entire earth. So God placed him in the most heated region of the earth. So if he could withstand the most heated region of the earth, then he could shed clothes and go to the migrate to the less heated region and be keepers of the whole entire earth. This is where God created. But when the sons of God came down and with Cain being the first nation upon the earth, slept with the daughters of Cain, then Cain's, by the angels having no pigmentation because of that going in and going to and fro out the earth, they had a versatile body where they can transform themselves into human-like peoples. And at the time they had transformed themselves into human-like beings, they slept with the daughters of Cain, bearing children unto them. And they became mighty men, and God told you the characteristics. They'll become great nations, giants in the earth, mean building backwards and everything with their own hands, serving their own will, being great and dominating the earth. But they had no covenant with God, so that means God had to send Jesus down here to die for their sin and die for the entire world's sin, because of Adam had eaten, taken fruit off the tree of knowledge, good and evil, which is what we are dealing with today. Well, which is a repertoire of what we are dealing with today. I said that universities and all that. So, and done that, Jesus had to go back to his Father in heaven once he came and died for the Gentiles to get them in the book of life, who was not, because the book of life was closed with Adam and Eve. And when the angels came and bare children unto the daughters of men, the book of life was closed. But there is another person that was here upon the face of earth with a different personality, characteristic, and a different chemical makeup, which diluted pigmentation because the angels had no pigments in their versatile body. They couldn't contribute that which they didn't have to the offspring, leaving the burden of the contributor being the mother. And as she donated her 50% of her chemical makeup and her DNA, the children became peoples with a thin layer of skin, which resulted in a white race as we see it today.